Hi kids, this is teacher Vidya. My aim is to make you all to describe the key features of pillars constructed in ancient India. What is a pillar? A pillar is a column of stone, wood or metal that is used for supporting part of a building. This picture is the stone pillar at Sarnath. The second picture is the iron pillar at McGrawley. They are both shiny even though one is made of stone and the other is made of iron that shows no sign of rusting. We observe that the main circular body is plain and simple while the top part is carved. The stone pillar was probably made during the time of Asoka to spread the message of Dhamma. The iron pillar was probably made during the time of the Gupta dynasty to spread the achievements of the rulers. They were probably made by sculpting and metal casting. Thus, these pillars tell us about the ideals and achievements of the rulers of the time as well as the skill of the craft persons who made them. These pillars have two sections. The top part, known as the capital, was usually carved. The main body, known as the shaft, was circular and narrowing towards the top. Each section was carved out of a single piece of stone that were later joined together. These pillars were made up of stone or metal. They had inscriptions and were polished until shining. All of them were not made of stone. Let me describe the key features of stupas and monasteries constructed in ancient India. These pictures are of stupa and a rock cut monastery. A stupa looks like an inverted dome. The monastery looks like a pillared structure. Both of these structures are associated with Buddhism. A stupa was built to remember Buddha and his teachings, and a monastery is a place where Buddhist or Jain monks and nuns live. The dome's shape of the stupa represents the meditating Buddha. These were built on the top of remains of Buddha and his followers known as Bodhisattva. The path around the stupa is for devotees to walk on as a sign of devotion. The monasteries were built for monks and nuns to stay in, especially during the rainy season, as it was difficult for them to move about in the rain. The oldest monasteries were made by carving or hollowing out of the rocks, such as the rock cut caves of Ajanta and Ellora. Within these caves, there were prayer halls called chaitya and the room assigned to the monks and nuns to stay called vihara were originally constructed to shelter the monks during the rainy season when it became difficult for them to lead the wanderer's life. Viharas. The monks and nuns meditator probably had discussions and studied or recorded the teachings of the Buddha in the scared books called Pitigas. They may have helped in making the wall paintings. Let me describe the key features of temples constructed in ancient India. The temples were made because people started worshipping ideals. A temple is a building reserved for religious or spiritual rituals and activities such as prayer and sacrifice. These temples had common features like the pyramid shaped roof known as Sigara. This was built right over a small room called the Grabagriga, where the idol of the god was placed. In front of the Grabagriga was usually a large hall called Mandapa for devotees to stand. A large carved gateway at the entrance in most of the temples was called the Gopuram. However, Gopurams can be seen in South Indian temples and not in North Indian temples. These temples were built using different materials. Stone was used to make the temples in South India. The temples survived because of the use of stones. Usually, temples were also used for holding meetings by people in the villages. And the rulers also used the temples to speak to the people. Temples were often used to teach children by the Brahmins. Temples were spaces where art, music, and dance were practiced. Usually, kings and queens ordered the construction of these monuments, but sometimes rich traders and people as a community also built them, especially for the monks and nuns. Kings and queens hired special craft persons, but most of the time, the community as a whole helped in construction. The rich people in the community gave financial help. Very often, the groups of traders and craft persons helped with the cost. Devotees brought gifts and donations which were used in construction. Skilled craft persons helped in carving and others helped in labor work such as transporting material and cutting rock. Highly skilled people made these monuments while rich people and devotees contributed towards the expenses in building them. Whether it is pillars, stupas, or temples, or each of these are the examples of fine craftsmanship. When we look at these monuments, we know that there were stone cutters, stone carvers, metal casters, and people who polished these stones. Each had their own specialization. We know that because these monuments are living examples of their skills. We know about the people who helped with money and gifts as their names are inscribed on the walls and panels of these monuments.